This African diaspora teacher reporting from Selma, Alabama. We're in the street in Selma. I want to report about economic impact in Selma, about my people living here for 400 years and have nothing to show for and being preyed on by all kind of people. Loan shark. This is one of them. Look at here. This is Cash Advance America. You can see, right? You got all this loan shark on the loose, taking advantage of the poor because they are vulnerable. You see, there's one thing that you got to understand, that when you keep people poor, they become vulnerable. Again, listen, intentionally keep people poor in poverty, then they become vulnerable. How vulnerable they become? Women become vulnerable with themselves, with their pussy. So you could take it. Yeah, you got to be plain. Women become vulnerable because when they're poor, anybody can take advantage of them. So over here, you see, that's a lot. The plaza is so empty. This city has been successful during the days of slavery, but all the money that they made on slavery has been taken out. Now it remains only the enslaved, the descendants of the enslaved with no money. So the town become vulnerable, very, very vulnerable, and with no money left for the people. Because when you start with nothing, you're gonna end up with nothing. You see, and then as you all can see, all this land were taken away from the Indians and owned by white people. So when you remove certain group of people from the ecology, then they have nothing, because when you exploit your ecology, that is where you're going to have an economy. But black people being here for 450 years have no access to the ecology, which is the land and the rivers and the waters. Okay, in Alabama, timber business is a big business, and the whites who took this land from the Indians and killed them and took the land, they have the access to the timber, the land, and the timber grows freely by God. So how wealthy can you be? Even a fool will be wealthy if you have God's timber to cut and then turn it into money. All that you have to do. So the white people have big access to all the 99% of the land belongs to them. So all they do is cut God's timber. It grows freely. They don't have to put no fertilizer, no nothing to it. You can see the shacks that they left them in, all these houses. You see this, you see. So when you take people out of their ecology, they become poor. You see, it's like telling all the birds and the animals in the forest that from today you have no access to this forest no more. What do you think the birds will do? What do you think all the animals will do? They will die. We as human beings are no different from the animals of the field and the birds of the skies. We are made out of the ecology, the environment. So we need to depend on the environment for our economy. You see, the ecology is what provides you with your economy. You see, the oil in the ground, then you become richer like the Saudis and the Kuwaitis and the Dubai. You see, the timber. But when this white man takes everything for himself, I'm talking about America here. takes everything, owns everything, and without you being part of it, what is your economy? Because you are just living. No, you are just surviving within ecology that he stole from other people. He stole the land from the Indians. Then he owned it. All the timbers automatically belongs to him. All the land. Look, this is just one part of Alabama I'm just talking about. I'm going to go and show you a whole field of places. But meanwhile, look. Back in the day, this is why white people are, but they left. When they make a lot of money, they left. And this is what they left for black people. You see, this is what they left for black people. And these are very distressed areas where they left black people. Very, very distressed areas where they left black people with no money to do anything. They were living over here. You see, they were living here back in the days, 150 years ago. This is where they were living. So if this is what they were living then, and they said black people can come here, what do you think black people were living when they were living in this? This is where they were living. This is their area. 100 years ago. You see, 100 years ago, this is where they were living. And black people cannot come over here. They will be lynched. So if this shack is where they were living 100 years ago, what do you think black people were living in? Worse than this, right? But now, they left here. When they left here, there's one of the old churches. Okay? So when they left here, black people came in. When black people came here, they came in with no money, just to come closer to them to work, to clean, to sweep behind them. Because they had all the money and give them a little money. But now that they have so much money, they make so much money on the back of black people, guess what? They move out. As they moved out, they went and built different city where they can show off their money. Who is who of the white? Prideville. What is the other town name? Other high-end town where they are doing billion-dollar businesses, and left the people over here with, in the next episode, I'm going to show you how they are living. So if you have no ecology, you have no money, you have no access to the land, how can you create any economy? How can you, what kind of economy would you create when you have no access to nothing? Money don't fall from the sky. You got to support the money with something that is from the environment that you are in, the ecology where you are in. You see, so on another note, I don't want this thing to be so long, but I'm gonna come back again and show you a piece of Selma. That is a factory. After running that factory and make so much money, they left it. And black people don't have money to buy the factory. And look at. These are all once upon a time a very beautiful, successful factory, but they left it. They take the money out and they will go and build better factories somewhere where only them, where black people are not there. So these people all the time practice financial apartheid. So we have to come together, put our money together, and do things ourselves. We can do it, folks. We can really, really do it. We shouldn't be scared. We built this nation. Black people built this nation, but today we don't have the power, the money, the vim, the know-how. Again, to make it, but it's still within our genes that we are the eagle, but we want to be closer to chicken. And in the wings of chicken, we can never grow. We are eagles, you see. So when we put our everything together, look at title loan, Alabama title loan. You see, they take your car title and give you a high interest loan. You see, preying on the people because they're vulnerable. So when you have a car, you have a title to the car. For you people who are in Africa, you don't know what a title is. A title is identification of a car. That proves that you own the car. Okay, that's what you use to go and register the car. So when you bring that title to that loan shark with a high interest, he'll give you $200. And boy, if the time comes and you don't pay him that $2,000 with that title that you left with him as a collateral, he can come and take your car that you bought for $5,000. So just imagine somebody advertising that you could come for a loan with your title. So how desperate would you be that you would take your a $10,000 car, the title of your car, to go and get $300 because that's how poor you are. Rich people won't do that. You see, in debt, you see another person here. Are you in debt? In debt called Charbon. Charbon. You go and give money to that Charbon guy. You go and call for consultation. You go and consult that Charbon guy, and he give you $300 with a collateral or something. And you see how much interest will be on that. So poor people become vulnerable for all these people to be preying on them. You see, to be this vulnerable, you have to be this poor. That's the reason why our politicians keep us so poor, so we become vulnerable. You see, white nations keep us poor as a group of Africans, as a group of people. And our politicians do the same thing by keeping us poor so that we'll be more vulnerable. When you are vulnerable, anybody can promise you anything and they will never deliver. If you are poor, a man with some little means will promise you anything as a woman. By the time you see, you know, he exchanged that promise with the best thing you ever have, your pride, and will never fulfill it. Okay? You see? Look, these are the things they love. Black people are living in. You see? Can you believe it? Can you believe? And once upon a time, this is a thriving business. This business is one of the reasons why those black people over there came to so that they could work. Now, as the business makes so much money, they pull out from the black neighborhood, so-called black neighborhood, and leave them with anything, nothing. Meanwhile, these trees you see over here, all these trees belong to white people, so they cannot cut it and make a timber out of it. It belongs to only white people. Because the white man who owns this land took it from the Indian, killed the Indian, took it. I came over here looking for Indians. I ain't seen one of them. That will happen to you, we Africans. One day, people will be riding through Africa and they'll never see a sign of you. If you don't want to work, if you don't want to do your things by yourself, there's nothing we can do that we cannot do. We are eagles, but we want to stay in the wings of chicken. So you can only fly like a chicken. You can't even fly, just walk like a chicken. But we are eagles. Okay? We want investors from Europe, we want investors from white investors. What about ourselves? You see, when they invest in your ecology, they will take it over. They will take it over. See, this is a lumber yard. This man has made so much lumber, he just moved out. Look what he left behind. A lot of lumber. He doesn't even want it because he has made so much money. Once upon a time, a lumber hut. He made so much money. Just look at all this wood. Because look at all the lumber he left behind. Because he has made so much money, he never even bought the land to make the lumber out. He took the land and made so much lumber, money out of the lumber, and now moved out. And go and see what kind of industry he built upon this land he stole. This is just the lumber yard. Okay, where is he taking his tree from? Indian land, like African land. Where are the Indians? Gone. He made so much money on their lumber, he just moved, leave all those things behind because he has made so much billions of dollars, he doesn't care. That is what will happen. That is what will happen to you, we Africans.
If you let everybody steal.
Everybody's coming. Investor. When your newsmen and your radio presenters and your journalists and your politicians talk about investor, Dangote don't even flash in our mind. When they say investor, white black people can be investor. So when you welcome everybody to come and invest in your ecology, they'll take over your ecology. They will live not there, just like leave you with shack like that. You see, shack like that. Okay. So on this note, I'll be right back. Ibajaji, reporting from Selma, Alabama, the most notorious place in the days of slavery. The most notorious state in the days of slavery. Deep South, Alabama. You will never survive. You live only 7 years. A lifetime of a slave, old and young, is 7 years. 7 years. 7 years! All these trees belong to white people that they took from Indians. This is your ecology. This won't give you economy. But if you don't have it, you have no control over it. What is your economy? What is your economy? Tell me. Look at all these trees left behind for their children. But what about the slaves who built the states? They have nothing. They can't even come over here and cut a tree before they'll be arrested. Your ecology gives you your economy. That's why the first thing the white man want to take from you is your land, your mind. You come and explore your oil and give you 5%. Your gold for 3%. Your copper for 3%. And sign some bogus agreement with so-called kings. Nothing but, dick suckers. Okay. Yeah, the kings are not nothing. The land belongs to the people and they make you a king and you sign a sidekick agreement with white people to take 2% of the gold and leave the people in shambles. Poverty. And you see nothing wrong with the white man who is mining your gold. Why can't you mine your gold? Go and tell Mansa Musa about that. You cannot mine your gold. And he'll kill you. Because when Mansa Musa was king of Mali, 800 years ago, 600 years ago, he mined his own gold. He never called nobody from anywhere. The man mined his own gold. He's remained the richest man ever lived, the wealthiest man ever lived. Go and tell him that today you can mine your gold. And you have to bring some white man from Australia, from Israel, from South Africa, from England to come and mine your gold. And see what Mansa Musa will do. You cut off your head because you're a punk.